Angithokoze ithuba mina ngabelethelwa eMkhomanzi endaweni ekuthiwa kuseMutaga emaplasini wedorobha ekuthiwa eCarolina ngo-1955 nge-2 kaFebruwari. Then ngathi ngineminyaka emibili ke uma obeletha mina wabhubha. Manje ke sayokuhlala kwagogo khona emaplasini apha sibathathu abantwana bakababa. Sikhulele kwagogo lapha eMkhomanzi. Isikolo sami sokuthoma engangena kiso kwakusikolo ikhuwa lesi bakwathi konondrosi wagucula isitali sempere wasenza isikolo kusekumkhukhu so ngathoma usub A lapho ngo-1966 toti ngaphasa ustandard 3 and then wesibili ke ngaya naw beka isikolo leso bayibiza ukuthi iBonnefoy Bantu Farm School. Igama lelinalo liyazitsho ukuthi kwakujame njani namalanga layo. And then isikolo sesibili ngayokwenza ustandard 4 no standard 5 bayibiza ukuthi iThokozani Bantu Farm School nayo kuyi higher primary ke leyo lapha ngenza standard 4 and 5 khona le eMutaga. Nangiceda ukuphasa ustandard 5 lapho ngo-1973 ngakhamba ngayokufunda ku higher primary yeCarolina eSlobela eSobhuza Higher Primary School. And then ke ukusukela lapho ke ngo-1974 ngayise ngiyokufunda ke eMayicha High School la eVaterval lapha KwaNdebele. Well, angithome ngokuthi mayelana nendo zepolitiki emaplasini lapha ngakhulela khona ngake ngabona umzala abambiza ukuthi nguJwamari Mtimunye abetha ikhuwa eli manager eplus le yazi sarare kakhulu ukuthi kani umuntu uyakhona ukubetha ikhuwa na ikhuwa eli la sarara ibile zanke limcotsha nokumcotsha ne ngoba lali bachayisisa lada liphosi litshe phezulu ndani litshe langabe nisalibona kusho ukuthi kusesangakahlwi manje mhlokho umza wami lo uJwamari Mtimunye khange imkari into le wagcina ekhwela alibethile alichayisa senentragelini lapha so into le I think yabamba kancane lapha ke mapha kani lapha emaplasini lapha sikhulele khona bonendo bezwa abantu abadala umunye nakacotshwe likhuwa or limbethela ukuthi kade adabla eplasini or kade enzani limcotshe lenzeni or ababaholeli kuhle uyaza amakhuluma abantu abadala ukuthi bathi mara amakhuwa akusiba abantu yabona manje ngesinto nawuthi umuntu akasemuntu ukuthi umuntu mara kanabuntu ngendlela babaphatha ngakhona ngani ngama weekend lapha emaplasini apha phakathi neveke Monday to Friday siya esikolweni ngama weekend bafaka thina lapha sikhambe siyokusenga ngemshini silusa amakonyana senze konke then ke abanye abakhona ukuchayisa laba babereka phakathi neveke so bengikhona ubona ukuthi kunempilo ethile yamakhuwa nempilo yabantu abanzima mara ngikholwa ukuthi bengikhona ukuchecha ukuthi libandlululo ngendlela ngayibona amuva ngakhona njengoba bese ukhuluma ngemayicha for ngizakufika emayicha nangenza ustandard 6 eCarolina kwakunotishera omunye bathi nguThompson Mbethe utishera loyo sasemthanda kakhulu generally thina abantwana babesana ngendlela bekambatha ngakhona imodera bekazichayela bekazi iAfrikaans azi ihistory mara kanengi izinto eziningi lakasitshelako ukuthi why mdesifunde bekathanda ukuthi asikhuthaze ukuthi asitshele ukuthi sizokuhlangana nobunzima obungangani ngaphandle outside isikolo like ukuthi abomma bethu uzokuthola ukuthi bazokuthi babadala abantwana bamakhuwa bababize ukuthi bo kitchen girl abobaba bababize ukuthi bo garden boy and abomma nabobaba mde babize abantwana bamakhuwa ukuthi lo likhuwa elincane nguTembazi then umrazana khona nguNonaji and then bese abe ngibasi bese nasamdala bese abe nguObasi ugogo obeletha umma nomkhulu obeletha umma ikhuwa lapha bebahlala khona belibizwa umkhulu ukuthi nguOuta ugogo nguAya angazofa amagama lawo yawazi ukuthi athi ukuthina ngoba u-Owit alichegu lefele, u-Aya alichegu usilukazi sefele. Mara indwezo ngizitsheje ngo-1973 ngenxa katishara lo ukuthi nakafundisayo anandre afaka umlando we-South Africa. Manje ngo-1974 nangifika eMayicha ngafika lapha ngingomunye othanda ukudebate, othanda ezomlando, i-history, othanda isikhuwa esikhulu, othanda ukuquota. So right from Form 1 up to Form 4 nangisafunda eMayicha pha ngangingomunye right through ofakwa ema-debating. Mara politically kunezintwanyana ezithile ezenzeka. Nangakhumbula kuhle, for instance ngo-1974 upresident lo wayengipresident we-SRC e-University of Limpopo namhlanje i-Teflop ngaleso sikhathi 1974 u-Abraham Unkguputse bambulala nge-parcel bomb asele ase-exile in Botswana. So lapha e-boarding school lapha into lenendi khulunywa ukuthi u-Abraham Unkguputse bambuleleleni ukhulume njani lapha njengopresident we-SRC nge-graduation party. And then that's 1974. Then ngo-1975 lapha ePortugal kwaba nechuguluko lika-government. U-government omutsha kangasafuna ukuthi achubeke nokuphatha amakoloni, which was Angola and Mozambique. So ngo-1975 i-Angola ne-Mozambique zathola i-freedom. No, nazithola i-freedom leyo yaba ne-huge psychological influence ebantwini abatsha ukuthi amazwe amanye nakalwela inkululeko khulukhulu ngoba ma-next door kuyakhonakala ukuthi amakhuwa la ahlulwe ikululeko le itholakale. And ukhumbula ukuthi kanengi in debate zethu bezi around into ezifana nalezo, yabona. And then u-1976 lo nakafikako ngoba ngifuna ukukhuluma ngaye, ngifuna ukubuyela emva kancane. Ngo-1948 i-National Party ekhabe idoswa phambili nguDr D.F. Malan yayicampaigna ngethikithi lokuthi yona izokusolva inkinga zepolitics eSouth Africa ngokuletha imithetho yebandlululo for abantu abanzima, for amakhuwa, for amakhaladi na for amandiya. So ngo-1948 i-National Party yangena embusweni. Ngo-1954 yase yenza ihlelo lefundo elikhethekele abantu abanzima eli-substandard. Ngoba nabangena embusweni ngo-1948 bathola ukuthi kunefundo yamangisi, royal education. Nangabe ngisakhumbula kuhle. Manje ke bona benza ukuthi ke kuzoba ifundo yamakhuwa, ifundo yamakhaladi, ifundo yamandiya, ifundo yabantu abanzima. Yabantu abanzima was the lowest. Ngilebe bayibiza ukuthi yiBantu Education. Baphasisa umthetho bathi yiBantu Education Act. Wathoma umbereko lo umthetho lo ubereka ngo-1955. And abantu abanzima abanye ababe sebabona ngaleso sikhathi njengabo Archbishop Tutu nabo Babusisulu nabanye, actually babakhipha abantwana babo enkolweni lapha kuyokufundwa khona iBantu Education, babamikisa emezweni abasema next door, Botswana, Lesotho, Swaziland njalo njalo. Then u-1976 lo ngifuna ukumchaza ukuthi uze njani, ngimconnecta neBantu Education le. Ngo-1976 ke before amakhuwala afuna ukuthi yonke into ngaphandle kwe-English ifundwe nge-Afrikaans. I-maths, ne-history, ne-geography, ne-agriculture konke bekufundwa nge-English bese i-Afrikaans ibe i-Afrikaans. Bachugulula indweza benza into ebayenza e-South West Africa namhlanje ibizwa ngokuthiwa iNamibia. Bathi ke abotishara yonke into ifundiswa nge-Afrikaans. And bekunzima even for abotishara ngo-1976 ukuthi bafundise everything nge-Afrikaans, bangazizwa nabo ukuthi bathini. Now u-1976 lo ke u-influence ke ngilokho engikuchoko okwenzeke ngo-1954 ngeBantu Education nalokho ukuthi akufundiswe nge-Afrikaans. So nakuvela u-1976, that was 16 June 1976, abotsiyetsi emashinini bayisusa ke eSoweto, yabona. Bafaka ama-demands ukuthi thina njengama-students sifuna ukuthi u-government akalungise into ezilandelayo. One, ukuthi i-Afrikaans as a medium of instruction njengelimi lokufundisa ayisuswe. yabona ngoba ililimi labantu abacindezela abantu abanzima nokuthi ifundo yabantu abanzima ekungukuthi is the lowest grade kule 4 zemfundo ezikhona nayo ayisuswe yabona then bafuna nokuthi ke abantwana besikolo babe nabajameli babo ekuthiwa iSoweto Student Representative Council kanye nekululeko. That is why uthola ukuthi ngoba besesengakacheji politically leso sikhathi nathi nasisusako umnyaka olandelako we1977 bengingu-chairman we-debating society ukuthi bengizoba ngi-chairman we-SRC sasithi sifuna iSoweto Student Representative Council mara silapha KwaNdebele batarifana ngoba siyithatha into le ebiyale ukuthi machine njengoba injalo uyabona so ke satina dosake in striking ngabana zazi 7 was one of the leaders savala isikolo senza ama demands layo sakhamba sokuvala umhlabethi kwavala nesikolo sangekosini holokaga for thina basibopha mara umuso KwaNdebele ngaleso sikhathi leso zanke basise emabulolo or basise Groblersdal ngiyathemba ukuthi either ngasafa leso sikhathi leso or beso end up esiso Robben Island because bezosicala njengama terrorists basithatha basidetaina lapha after that basibetha basitshela ukuthi silise into ekuthiwa i-black power ngaleso sikhathi leso ngoba babekholelwa ukuthiwa sithatha i-black power sithatha into yeSoweto siyiletha la or sithatha i-black power into ye-America siyiletha la. Yeah, angithi njengoba bengichilo ngikhuluma ngoDr. ngotishera uThompson Mbethe. Enye into akhaba sikhuthaza yona ukuthi nasibantwana besikolo siboleke ama newspaper amadala kanabo 3 4 5 days siwafunda. Ngaleso sikhathi leso besifunda iphepha elinye ekuthiwa iThe World. Ayikhuluma kakhulu ngobujamo bezepolitiki eSouth Africa. Thanda kakhulu ukufunda iphepha lelo. Then ke njengoba sengichilo kwaba khona ke u1976 nasima students lapha basicotshe esikoleni bengeza form 4 ngakhamba ngayokubereka kwaPhatco for 3.5 years ngakubereka kwaPhatco ngakhona ukuphasa imatric ngo1982 ngase ngiyaziregistera eUniversity of Limpopo namhlanje iTeflop ngaleso sikhathi leso nasiqeda ukuregistera lapha kwakunama leaflets nelinye ikamera lama students lalifakwa ama leaflets layo A1 bekuyi leaflet ebuya ku president weSRC echaza ukuthi welcome to the Teflop ichaza ukuthi university enjani and why ya establishwa yona nengoye neFort Hare sa establishwa especially for what purpose banokuzibiza nokuthi even our bush universities the same concept yebantu education. Then okwesibili kwakukhona i-leaflet enye ebuya ku-AZASO, the Azanian Students Organization. Then leyo beyichaza ukuthi as a student ungacabanga ukuthi now you are going to be a student esiyokuthola i-degree and esibe different from abantu obuya kibo. You are still part of the community ecindezelwe leya obuya kiyo. Singabi kind of a middle class ever detached from our people ngoba sabe si educated. So iAZASO leke i-leaflet yeAZASO le yenza ukuthi nawufunda le SRC nawufunda le AZASO umnyaka loyo ngo1982 ngagcina ngijoinele i-Azanian Student Organization AZASO. Meskin igama leli laka AZASO lingakuhlalela ngenye indlela nawulicala ngapha ngako Congress movement. Kuyakosa ukuthi ukhumbule ukuthi iAZAPO ngo1979 yenza i-student organization yayo iAZAPO yayibiza ukuthi iAZASO. I-ANC underground for instance ya infiltrator iAZASO ngo1981 iAZASO although bekuyi black consciousness movement wing of the students ya adopter i-Congress movement perspective of South Africa ngamagama thinking ye-ANC. So thina esibuya ku-Azaso, most of us ugcine later usithola ngapha ngakwe-ANC. So ke njengoba ukhuluma ngepolitiki ke i-Teflop ke ne-Fort Hare khulukhulu lapho kwafunda khona aboMandela, aboRobert Mugabe and many others. Bekuma university almost engathi ma university wepolitics. Now and then nakuna something effort here si pledge solidarity nabo la. Nathi kwaba ne strike la nabo ba pledge solidarity la. Nakwenzeka into ePalestina si pledge solidarity nabo la. Nakwenzeka ini all over Africa. So now and then sithola ama discussions aka political. But also Holocaust ngo 1983, after United Democratic Front ibe established, most of the leaders be United Democratic Front, abo Bishop Tutu, abo Valimusa, abo Teralikota, abo Popo Mlife, abo Cyril Ramaphosa, and many others used to come to the campus. Abo Frank Chikan used to come to the campus and share with us ubujamo benaga, particularly ama students akabuya ku Azaso. And i-Azaso, as a student organization, also affiliated as one of the organizations within the UDF. So UDF was a broad federation, a broad front of all organizations, black, white, and Indian, as ingafuni apartheid. Whether those organizations were labor, civic, or political, so i-Azaso, a part of the UDF. I remember, for instance, go 1984. Lesikhathi bathi bafuna uku-opta amakhaladi namandiya bafake eparliament, bathi i-tricameral parliament, mara ba-exclude abantu abanzima. I was one as part of Azaso, one of the campaigners, where we were saying sifuna 1 million signature campaign. Siye emizini yonke esikhambe sikhuluma nabantu ukuthi into le actually icho ukuthini, iyinto engasiyo. Nangikhuluma ngendaba yepolitiki. So ke ngo-1986 ngaseke ngiyaqeda ke i-University of Limpopo, so long ngiyimember ye-Azaso. Then ke ngingathi 1987 ngase ngiyoba ngitishera lapha eMadoda. 1988 ngase bayangenza uprincipal eMakhosana High School up to 1995. Now ngo-1990 kwaba khona ke enye a new development for abotishera. Each generation yethu yabotishera ebuya ku-1976, most of them young and politically very conscious, babengafuni ukujoina ihlangano yabotishera le esayithola ikhona. Sasiyibona ukuthi i-conservative and emphasize more on the professional aspect of the profession than uqala ezinye izinto. So kwenziwa ke ihlangano yabotishera ekuthiwa iSADU, South African Democratic Teachers Union. So ngo-1990 I joined iSADU. We founded iSADU from the different pieces of teachers unions, including the one esasinayo lapha KwaNdebele. Zahlangana kwenziwa ihlangano A1 iSADU yabotishera. So zakhambelana zoyithuke. So I need to say, njengoba bengitsho ukuthi i-Azaso was ideologically close to the ANC and ideologically affiliated to the UDF. And the UDF was actually an internal wing, an underground structure of the ANC. That link is important. Then iSADU then affiliated to COSATU. And COSATU was established in 1983, if not 1985. So iCOSATU na establishwayo ithatha zonke ama-labor unions akangafuni apartheid nakalwela amalungelo wabasebenzi. Ideologically again iba affiliated to the ANC. So to be a SADU member was actually noma kade ungasi conscious politically uzothola sewusepolitiki. You see, then of course any development besides iSADU was ukuthi ngo-1990 then the ANC was unbanned. And one of my friends, George Mhlamunyane, engam recruiter to join Azaso, Nangse University of Limpopo, was actually the one we at St. Joseph who was on recruiter with join the ANC. ngajoin i-ANC ke lapho ke then ke after sijoin i-ANC ke then leso sikhathi iKwaNdebele le neMuze were part of what is called the Great North or Northern Transvaal ngama region la we-UDF because beka 14 part of Northern Transvaal. So ke sebeza ke le inkokheli ke ezibuya eLimpopo abo New Jewel Nechitenze abo Ngwako Ramatlodi abo Aaron Mtswaledi abo Thaba Mufamadi and many others beza ke bazo establish izone la, not a branch. So izone was higher than a branch. Izone le bazo establish izone le ngaba part of izonal structure. Izonal structure le ke then umbere kwaba ku launch ama branch la KwaNdebele eMritile KwaNdebele eMuze ngo 1992 kagcina ngikhethwe as the regional chairman of the ANC in this area. That is 1992 up to 1998. So ngo 1998 base bangikhetha uba ngu-deputy secretary we-province in the provincial executive committee, and the same year ngase ngiyalisa uba regional chairperson ngaba part of top 5 ye-province nabo Matthew Phosa and others njengo-deputy secretary. And that is 1998. The following year nakunominatwa amalunga we-parliament ngaba ngomunye oba nominated to go to parliament. So ngangena e-parliament ngo 1999. So ngibese parliament from 1999 up to 2019, which is 20 years. Well, it is always something very difficult to quantify as an individual. Maybe lokho ngakhona quantify either as an organization or as a government. Nangiceda ukungena eParliament ngo1999 uPremier ubaba uNdaweni Mahlangu wangi-appointa ukuthi kube ngusomkhandlu MEC we-Sports, Arts and Culture, Sports and Recreation. And lokho kwasho ukuthi ngiba responsible for sports and recreation, but also namasiko wabantu abanzima. And uzakucaphela ukuthi ezinye inthombo zami uzangibona lapha eParliament ngimethe izinto zesintu nangingakambathi zesiNdebele ngimbatha zeSwazi ukuthi sikhona ukuveza ukuzikhakhazisa ngobuzwe bethu lapha eParliament lesichugulule njalo. Enye into kwaba ukuthi sikhuthaze abantu ukuthi bakhulume amalimi wesikhabo, weSwazi, wesiNdebele, wesiChangani, wesiZulu, wesipulana njalo njalo ngoba eMpumalanga ampuruna 8 yamalimi akakhona la. So then ke nezomdlalo njalo. Then okhunye okwabaluleka ukuthi after 4 years ngangikuleyo department le, i-department yesibili ngaya kwa-Department of Education, and njengomuntu ongitishera by profession okhaba ngiprincipal okhaba specter for ngizangena into kanjini kwaba lula ukufitha into i-department efana naleyo ngoba ndani kwathi ukuthi ngikhona ukubereka nesatu, ngikhona ukubereka nomphakathi ukuchubekisa nokutshitshizela nokukhuthaza abantwana ukuthi baye esikoleni, nokuthi abantu abadala nabantwana bakhona ukubona ukuthi ifundo le esiyifumanileko ngileya eyathonywa nguDr Malani ngo1954 iBantu Education. And manje sise processing yokuchugulula i-curriculum le, ukuthi i-curriculum le noma i-curriculum le ibe yi-1 for amakhuwa namakhaladi namandiya nabantu abanzima, because iBantu Education le kose sikhumbule ukuthi ilethe ubunzima obungangani eSouth Africa. It should take from 1955 nayithoma ukubereka up to 1994. Kusho ukuthi yenze ukuthi abantu abanzima babe na the lowest skills noma ngabe bakuphi, whether ku-agriculture or ku-pharmacy noma kukuphi. Kusho ukuthi always bona mde bazibone basisandla sekhuwa yabona that kind of thing. Yeah, ngingathi ke ngibe ngu-MEC for 12 years in 5 different departments. Ngibe ngu-MEC we-sports, arts and culture, ngaya kwa-education, ngikhe ngaba khona nemaphoyiseni, ngikhe ngaba khona nakwa-social development, kholela bogogo, social development and health, ngikhe ngaba khona kwa-human settlements or kwa-housing.
Ngendlela uzibala ngakho ukuthi njengoba uvezile egeleni kwakho eParliament izinto ebenifuna ukuthi zilunge zichukuluke nangakile ama-department ukuphi lapha ungathi hlangana nama-policies awokade wasunduza khulu ukuchukulula impilo zabantu ngokweminyaka?
I would say la ngangifila ukuthi umuntu ubereka kamnandi khulu kwa-Department of Education, particularly ngokumobilize abazali nokumobilize ama-students nokumobilize abotishara ukuthi babereke together ukuthi siphakamise izinga lefundo nokuthi sizwisise ukuthi imiphumela le iya ngokuthi indawo abantu abahlala kiyo injani. For instance, ngikhumbula sicala ama-results walapha KwaNdebele, sithola ukuthi aphasi, sithola ukuthi abazali bala bavuka ngo-4 nango-5 bayakhamba ekuseni, abantwana basala bodwa, abazali abakhona ukwazi ukuthi abantwana bayile esikolweni nabakade, abazali ababuyako la abantwana sebabuyile esikolweni anikababoni baya esikolweni. Akufani nedrobheni lapha abazali bathatha umntwana bambeka emnyangweni wesikolo ukuthi bamthathe bambuyise, into ezifana nalezo. So but omunye umnyango lapha ngifila ukuthi umuntu bene impact khona ngokwa social development nakwa health, ngoba for instance sasikhuthaza abantu abadala ukuthi nangabe abasazizwa banamandla bangakateleleki ukuthi mde bayohola emholweni ni abahole kalula, babhalise then imali abo le ingene ebhanka kuyakhonakala lokho njengendukazi zele mhlobo eminye le. I think nayo kwaba icampaign ehle khulu leyo. Umntwana wanamhlanje namde simchazele ukuthi yini kululeko, yini democracy. Kuse sitsho ukuthi nasithi kune democracy sitsho ukuthi amakhuwa nabantu abanzima namandiya namakhaladi major population groups be South Africa bakhona ukuvota ngesikhathi esi1 bayokuvotela inhlangano zepolitiki ezifunwa ngibo. Idemocracy leyo. Then ethola amavoti amaningi iba ngiyo ebasembusweni njengoba kwenzeka ngo-1994 almost tot namhlanje ngiyidemocracy leyo. Then ikululeko ukukhululeka emithethweni leya eminengi iyakhiwa makhuwa. Yazi it's amazing how between 1994 and 1999 over 1,000 pieces of legislation were changed ekumthetho nemthethwana yebandlululo abantu abanzima, whether ukhuluma ngama-toilet, ukhuluma ngama-restaurant, ukhamba estradini, inkolo, imthetho nemthethwana nje. So nasikhuluma ngenkululeko slightly ibuya lapha ku-democracy, mara only nani ngene eParliament abantu abanzima, then you could then use i-power yenu lapha eParliament and then to bring freedom to your people. Freedom, for instance, ukulandela amasondo enwafunako, ngoba uzakukhumbula ukuthi ngo-1910 amakhuwa la nakakha into kuthiwa inyonyana eSouth Africa. I-constitution, i-preamble yathi South Africa shall be a Christian state. Right from the beginning into leyo beyi-wrong because eSouth Africa kunama-Hindu kunama-Muslim, mara yona ithi it shall be a Christian state. What if ungokhunye, yabona? So ngo-1994 kwaba ne-freedom of religion, which South Africa is a secular state, kuthi uthi ulandela ikolo oyifunako. Then namalimi la kwathiwa wonke amalimi ayalingana, yabona, wonke amasiko ayalingana, wonke umuntu akazikhakhazise ngesikhabo, wonke umuntu akathande ubuSewula Africa bakhe. I would say abantwana bethu mde ba-understande lokho. Mara mude ngithi ebantwaneni bethu ababelethwe after 1994 i-democracy le ne-freedom bayi-understande ukuthi ayikafiki lapha ifanele thana seyifike khona ngenxa yobudisi nobunzima bezinto ezenzeka before over the last 342 years. And ngiyazizwa ukuthi ngithina ngithi 342 years because kose uthi amabhuru la afika 6 April 1652 nakafika la. Sonke lesi sikhathi bebenzani bebathathela abantu abanzima inaga. Na uqala lapha eWestern Cape lapha bafikele khona eCape Town bathoma ukulwa izimpi lapho. Right from 1659 already bebalwa namaKhoi and the San and the Nama and the Kwa babathathela inaga lapha bachinga ukuya le eEastern Cape balwa namaXhosa lapha babathathela inaga babathathela inkomo bangena eNatal bagcina balwa nabo Dingani lapha bangena beza eTransvaal bagcina bachova boSoshangani ngapha bagcina balwa namaNdebele tot bayowahlula lapha eholweni. So ngamanye amagama kusho ukuthi nawukhuluma ngo1994 ukhuluma ngokuthoma kwedemocracy eSouth Africa nokufika kwekululeko after 342 years. Now to expect ukuthi in 28 years isimo leso besabe sesichugulukile asikachuguluke. Ngifuna ukunikeza just one or two examples. For instance, now uqala i-allocation of water or water resources. Kune Witbank Dam, kune Witbank Town, kune Witbank Dam. Kune Middelburg, kune Pinners Dam. Kune Pitori, kune Hartbeers Dam, kune Roodeplaat Dam. Kune KwaMhlanga or kune KwaNdebele, akuna KwaNdebele Dam. Kune Soweto, akuna Soweto Dam. Which even the way the apartheid settled us where there was no water. Which explains why in all the black areas in South Africa, une problem yamanzi. Then naba allocator inaga leng ngo-1913 the so-called Bantu reserves ekuyi-process ebayistarte 1652 lokhu okwaba yi-nucleus yama-homelands ngo-1913 basinikeza indawo lapha kungani khona izulu, indawo lapha kungalimeki khona, indawo lapha ezinamatshe, indawo ezinetshisa kwezinabonompopolo. So in other words, you have got poverty that was created and imposed upon the black people. And then if it's a township, then bobakhela izindlu lezo bahlalise lapho ukuthi bazokwazi ukuthi babe forced ukuthi bazobereka lapha edrobheni. The only reason nje ukuthi ube namalokish la ukuthi abantu laba ama dormitories, these are the labor reservoirs for people to come and work for the white man in town. And then ama homelands was to try to reduce ipower yepolitiki ekade ihlanganisa iANC ukuthi no sizanikela ikululeko mara sizanikela nibe maNdebele lapha eCadi or nibe Batswana lapha eCadi or nibe maVenda lapha eCadi njalo njalo, mara ama features welokishi nala yafanana, then education le yafanana. So umntwana nakaqala into kanje le ikululeko le ifike ngo1994 nakangazi umntwana lo abuya eJapan angafike athi kusho ukuthi mara amakhuwa la nakafundako are inkolo ezihle ababe nezindlu ezihle baphile impilo engcono, abantu abanzima kanti bona bebakuphi. Umntwana nakangakachazeleki into leyo ukuthi no laba bekubekwa ama road block amanengi ukuthi bangafiki lapho, and indwezo azikapheli zonke noma imithetho isusiwe. For instance, you still have Soweto, you still have la iKwaNdebele with these features doesn't maar at least things are changing because imithetho leyo ikhona. So ichangewe and unohulumende ohuluphele ukuthi zonke lezi zinto zichange. Into enkarako nefuneka ukuthi abantwana bethu bazwisise ukuthi umzabalazo forever. That is why uFrantz Fanon, one of the political scholars, each and every generation must identify its mission. If thina ngo-1976 sa-identify i-mission yethu ukuthi ibantu education le ayisireh asilweni nayo, then fast forward ngiyajabula ukuthi kube nama-students amanye later bathi fees must fall, but no man, what fani nangabe kunomntwana ohlakaniphile mara ekhabo uphuma emkhukhwini and umntwana lo phasi matric ngama-distinction amanengi, and lapha nakathi uye-vets nakathi uyakuphi bathi no kufuneka imali eziningi, abantwana bathi fees must fall. So that generation of the students identified its own mission And that is very good for South Africa. And that is good for the black people. Bese kuba nezinye inhlangano, for instance, ezithi siyabona ukuthi umthetho webandululo kusukile lapha in mara sidlani ukomna sicala iJohannesburg Stock Exchange sithola ukuthi i-participation yenkampani zabantu abanzima about 23%. Kutsho ukuthini lo? Kutsho ukuthi 80% yomnotho usebantwini abayi-7%. And abantu abayi-80% bacontrola umnotho oyi-23% or even less. Bese bavela bathi no, sifuna economic freedom. And nasingena kuleyo agenda leyo, ifuneka ibe i-agenda yazo zonke inhlangano zepolitiki ukuthi i-political freedom and by way of law maybe it is there, but kufuneka economic freedom, distribution of wealth to all the South Africans. Then the standard of life is improve for our South Africans. And ngifuna ukucho into enye that I have realized since I was appointed as an ambassador. Ngoba I deal more with the world politics, you know. Ngirealize ukuthi the whole of Africa, not just the South African, the whole of Africa, the former colonized Africa by France, by Britain, by Germany, etc., is treated the same. Ne Asia, ne Latin America. Ngamanye amagama na ukhuluma ngendawo ezi-underdeveloped economically, or as contributor like Africa contributor about 5% of the world GDP. It's all the former colonized area. Former colonized countries. But in really izenjani? Izengokuthi when these countries were fighting for freedom, whether the Kenya, Tanzania, Zimbabwe, Lesotho, Botswana, njalo njalo, Mali, Burkina Faso, njalo njalo. Nabazinikeza political freedom. It was the freedom yokungena eparliament nokuchugulula imithetho eparliament. Mara umnotho loya, imine, nokulima, nefuyo, umnotho loya wasala kulaba egade bama colonizers, wasala ne Britain. That is why awumangale South Africa uthola ukuthi imine ezikulu la, they are called Anglo-American. The name itself tells you why Anglo-American. Why is it a connection of the English people and the American people controlling the mining industry largely in South Africa, and the finance industry in South Africa largely? Where are the black people? So that's what happened. You go to the former French colonies, all 22 of them, the same thing. In company tola lapo, big companies, nani mine, utoluguti, they are largely owned by France. So makamate nina ngenani ke manje parliament. Nina manje silingana kwezomthetho nakwezepolitiki mara silingani kwezomnotho. So for umuntu omutsha namhlanje kosathi nakaqala why is South Africa ila ikhona, bese also ayiqale in the context of the African continent itself. Oh, this was a colonized continent, and the former colonizers nasindo abayenzayo. Latin America, abo Grenada, abo Jamaica, abo Cuba, abo banbani, you find the same features. You go to Asia, at least you find the same features, but most of them at least have been able to work themselves out. Ngihappy ke ukuthi ngoba sengikhuluma ngalento le. Ngihappy ukuthi after 1994 enye into eyenziwe ngohulumende we South Africa was ukuletha amahlelo nama program ukuthi abantu beAfrica baberekisane ukuthi kukhuliswe uhwebelana eAfrica. That is why under President Mbeki we had a new partnership for Africa's development, which was going to be a partnership yokukhulisa intra-African trade. But fast forward, wakhuluma nge-African Renaissance ukuthi asilethe umcabango omutsha ukuthi abantu beAfrica baberekisane bangaziboni ba different from each other laba, former French, former Portuguese, former English, njalo into leyo ihlukanise, yabona. But thirdly, njenganje kunento ekuthiwa i-African Continental Free Trade Area. And this is a big market of 1.3 billion people be-Afrika ekhuthaza ukurhwebelana phakathi kwezwekazi le-Afrika ngoba nawuthi uyaqala nguthola ukuthi i-Afrika angithome so nguthola ukuthi i-South Africa irhwebelana more with i-Europe than with i-Africa, more with i-America than with i-Africa. Ne-Burkina Faso banekinga leyo, ne-Zimbabwe banekinga leyo, njalo njalo. So i-African Continental Free Trade Area izama ukuthi asisuse izinto ezizinghibe eziphakathi. Like for instance, the road infrastructure. SADC, i-road infrastructure yethu i-right. Mara now ungena ku-Central Africa uya e-North Africa uthola ukuthi i-road infrastructure I see developed to an extent where i-intra-African trade okuthola ama-goods and services kuba lula. Even i-air transport uthola ukuthi ukusuka e-next door, ukusuka eGabon mhlambe uye eMali kose first uyokujika eTurkey uze e-next door, or kose uyokujika eFrance ukuthi uze e-next door. I'll fly just from one country to another. Equality ama-bridge, for instance, equality telecommunication, equality ama-bank, ukuthi ama-bank abe affiliated to international standards. Silakhi thina South Africa ngoba 5 of our banks are internationally recognized. Mara kwamanye amazwe uthola ukuthi abakhoni ukuthi bangahwebelana namanye amazwe through i-banking system yabo recognized at that level. So
uthi ukuthini kuwe uSolomon Kalushi Masango nokuthi wathini kuwe kwenzekani kwakuthinda kuphi ukuzwa ngokumehlele?
uSolomon Kalushi Masango wahengwa ngen-6 zika April 1979. And uSolomon Kalushi Masango wabelethelwa eMiddelburg. Then ekhabo bathutha base bayokwakha eMamelodi. So umuntu weMpumalanga according to unina. Lesikhathi mina ngingu-MEC wezemidlalo. Sathi nasikhulumako lapha kwaMhlanga la. Kwathola ukuthi uminister uBalfour usipha about 3 million uku-improve i-stadium sakwamhlanga. Ngaphakamisa ke igama lokuthi i-stadium lesi ngabanjani sisibize ngokuthi uSolomon Masango. Nestrata lesi sisibize ukuthi uSolomon Masango, to honor him as one of the students ababadosa phambili. So uSolomon Masango uyi-product ka-1976 owathi akusi enough ukudosa intrike kuphela, waphuma waya ngaphandle wayokutrain waba lesotsha lomkhonto wesizwe. Nakabuya lapha ke nabathome baloko bamcapture. But you know ukukhombisa ukuthi amabhunu were vengeful. Bamhenga ngen-6 zika April 1979. It doesn't matter ukuthi bengaba ngumuphi umnyaka, mara just to select in 6 zika April bakwenza lokho because bafuna ukudemonstrate ukuthi we arrived here ngen-6 zika April 1652 and siza kuhaka ngen-6 zika April ukumaka that historic moment for them. Ekumaka i-defeat something like that, yabona. So to me uSolomon Kalushi Masango was a young man who was a sign of bravery. Fortunately, you know, when you are in the 20s, you only have yourself. Usengakacabangi ngabantwana nefamily. So it was amazing. Was ukuthi there was a young man ofana naloyo, and kwaba mnandi khulu ukuthi thina njengohulumende weMpumalanga sikhona ukuthi i-stadium lesakwaMhlanga sisibize ukuthi nguSolomon Masango, sithina lesi strata lesi sithi iSolomon Masango, sabiza nomndeni wakhona wavuma ukuthi umntana wabo siba honor njalo, because enye into bekose si demonstrate kungacabanga ukuthi uSolomon Masango ngweMamelodi kade alwela iSouth Africa yonke nje njengabo Ephraim Mogale nathi ngaleso sikhathi leso besingacabanga ngingama-homelands. So ngathinde kanjalo uSolomon Masango.
Isoka no kocha wesi. Owabula.